cooperation between the United States and Japan reached a new milestone with the installation of hundreds of yards of subterranean fiber optic cable linking the piers of the U.S. Navy at Commander Fleet Activities Sasebo with those of the Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force.
So the U.S. Navy has a system called the Navy Continuous Training Environment. And what that does is allow the ship to be pierside, but pretend like it's underway and pretend like they're under attack or they're going through various scenarios that you would see afloat or out in blue water ops. As you can see, we were able to extend the network out here to the JMSDF partners, and they'll be able to train directly from their piers by pulling into India Basin and using the U.S. infrastructure there.
Realizing this goal of integrated bilateral training was no easy feat and required the approval of the highest levels of both U.S. and Japanese naval forces, as well as hard work by Naval Facilities Engineering Command, or NAVFAC.
It's been a long time going. We've been trying to get this done. I mean, we started the planning of it maybe last year. We went through a lot of different phases and a lot of talks back and forth between the Japanese. And NAVFAC's been a really big help working together with us because we had to extend some conduits because none of the U.S. manholes or the Japanese manholes touch each other. So we had to install new conduit in between U.S. manholes and Japanese manholes, and now it's all NAVFAC work.
This project highlights the fact that the U.S. Navy's rebalance in the Pacific is not just concerned with ships and manpower of the 7th Fleet, but also with joint capabilities and partnerships with our allies. Petty Officer Michael Sanchez, Fleet Activities Sasebo, Japan. If you've had a night of drinking, chances are you're still legally under the influence in the morning. Don't risk everything by getting behind the wheel. You can call a cab using the CFAS app or avoid this situation by drinking responsibly. Although their sashes and uniforms may be different, the citizens of Sasebo who gathered in Mitsura Park were united by a commitment to safety in their community. In addition to local organizations and police, Sasebo area sailors represented the Navy's commitment to crime prevention and traffic safety.
It's extremely important that we maintain a very strong relationship with the Japanese because, fortunately, most sailors do quite well. And sometimes when we do have a few speed bumps, it's in our best interest to be able to work well to resolve any issues quickly.
Since safety is best learned early, local school children were among the groups present.
Police visit our kindergarten class 3 times a year to give a traffic safety presentation. The kids are now more aware of safety after hearing stories from the police and playing with them. The children were nervous about meeting the police officers at first, but they enjoyed it and they even saluted the officers.
After gathering for speeches and music in the park, the group paraded down the shopping arcade backed by the beats of 2 marching bands.
I think it gives them a sense that we belong to the community and allows them to be a little bit more at ease with us, even though we have fundamental cultural differences.
Through continued involvement and community relations in our host nation, Sasebo sailors aim to be good neighbors and preserve the partnership of our 2 countries. Petty Officer Michael Sanchez, Fleet Activities Sasebo, Japan. When grilling this summer, make sure your equipment is in good working order. Stand upwind when lighting, and do not use flammable liquids to light coals. Brought to you by the CFAS Safety Office.
Black
As part of Citadel Pacific 2015, USS Pioneer conducted a shipboard fire drill to simulate an emergency while in port. The exercise began with a fire reported on the starboard side of the second deck. The injured were removed from the scene and treated pierside. After the ship's fire team assessed the situation, base firefighters were called in to combat the blaze. Rehearsing this teamwork is key to successfully containing a real emergency.
You're getting the proper training beforehand, and if you have anything that's wrong that needs to be corrected later on and fixed, especially during pressure like this, the DC men or DCA, anybody that's going to be on here will make sure that it's corrected and fixed for next time so that way you can combat it more effectively.
This drill was unique in that it involved every organization on base that would be called upon if a large emergency were to occur.
Given the amount of complexity that we have here, I think it actually went really well, and that's a reflection, I think, on the professionalism of everybody involved and just the amount of hard work that went in across the waterfront with all the players in the planning and the preparation process.
When it comes to emergency response, the crew of USS Pioneer and CFAS first responders truly train how they fight. Petty Officer Michael Sanchez, Fleet Activity Sasebo, Japan. This summer, be aware of heat injury warning signs like heavy sweating, pale skin, and dilated pupils. Choose your beverages wisely and be sure to stay hydrated. Brought to you by the CFAS Safety Office. Smiling and laughter were the international language of the day as the Fleet Activity Sasebo Main Base Youth Center Summer Camp hosted a group from Fukuoka's International I School for a day of crafts and games.
It is a really good time for the kids to really be coming into an environment where they get to see different people, because especially sometimes when we're walking by, there's also different Navy personnel that they get to practice saying hello to and not being shy. So overall, it's a very good experience for them to interact with American kids and use their English.
The purpose is making friends and then being friendly and hosting them is really important to get to know each other. We have been having this event for 10 years and we would like to keep doing this event.
I was really excited because some of the kids are shy, but a lot of them, I was able to see them kind of overcoming the shyness, and the American kids were very good with talking to them and actually like talking to them about what kind of sports they like, or, oh, you were really good at running and things like that, giving each other compliments, which is always a really nice thing to see kids interacting with each other and just overall having a very fun time together.
Through these kinds of events, both Japanese and American children can not only make new friends, but continue to build on the partnership between our two nations on an individual level. Petty Officer Michael Sanchez, Fleet Activity Sasebo, Japan. You might want to enjoy a drink poolside or on the beach this summer. Just remember, alcohol not only impairs judgment, but increases your risk of drowning. If you've been drinking, stay out of the water. Brought to you by the CFAS Safety Office. For some United States Navy Masters-at-Arms, their most valuable tools do not have bullets or batteries, but 4 legs and a collar.
Hi, I'm MA3 Benjamin Parlin. I'm a military working dog handler. I joined the Navy wanting to do police work, but eventually, through my work and every day, I worked with military working dog handlers and found an interest in it. My dog's name is MWD Mia. She's a Belgian Malinois. Mia's favorite part is probably getting bites. I look forward to working with dogs for the rest of my career because you get to do things every day that nobody else in the Navy gets to do.
The bond between dog and handler not only makes the job more enjoyable, but makes the security team more effective at accomplishing their mission. Seaman Michael Sanchez, Fleet Activities, Sasebo, Japan. During the summer season, protect yourself with light-colored, loose-fitting clothing, wide-brimmed hats, and at least SPF 15 sunscreen. And of course, stay hydrated. Brought to you by the CFAS Safety Office. With classic rock and roll tunes and the smell of food in the air, Sasebo's Harbor View Club hosted an Independence Day celebration for sailors and their families. Club manager John Bart was the lead coordinator of the event.
We put in a flea market for folks to come and sell some of their excess items that they wanted. We brought the Sasebo Ventures in, we brought the Tex-Cajuns in from Yokohama. So we had a cross between some surfing music and some country and western or country rock and roll music. We wanted to serve food outside and make it more of an outdoor or a barbecue type event for our folks.
Despite poor weather and being overseas, the Harbor View Club and Navy MWR provided a distinctly American celebration for sailors and their families. Petty Officer Michael Sanchez, Fleet Activities Sasebo, Japan.